We're at the CROI in Seattle. We're here with Ricky Bluthenthal, who's with the Keck School of Medicine, University of Southern California. And we really appreciate you taking the time away from the CROI work to talk with us about your work. And let's do that. Introduce your
Sure. So for about 25 years, I've been doing research on HIV risk and prevention strategies for people who inject drugs. And today I'll be presenting basically an overview of the new risk that the opiate crisis is presenting in terms of HIV in the population of people who inject drugs in particular.
Okay. Can you expound on that and just describe what got you into this premise?
What got me into HIV, or what got me into?
What you got into HIV and also in the drug area?
Right.
How do you?
Yeah, so it was it was mostly serendipity. So I was interested in doing research. I'm a sociologist by training, so I was interested in doing research on disadvantaged groups, and I happened to be getting trained at Berkeley in the midst of the HIV epidemic in the late 80s and early 90s, and got an opportunity to lead one of the first epidemiological studies among people who inject drugs in Oakland and Richmond, California. And so that's what got me started. And in the course of doing that work, I helped start the needle exchange program in Oakland, which still exists today, and I've been doing that work on and off, more or less, since then.
So where are you in the process of this work that you're doing?
Well, the opiate crisis is really creating new problems in the HIV world, and they sort of come down to, the shorthand is there's a lot more people who inject drugs now than there used to be, and it's a broader group of people. So previously, the HIV epidemic among drug injectors was really concentrated in urban areas, mostly in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states. Now it's sort of everywhere. We've had HIV outbreaks in rural settings like Scott County, Indiana. We've had them in suburban settings like Lawrence, Massachusetts. And then we have upticks of outbreaks in places like Seattle and big cities. So that's one problem. And the other problem is there's a whole new cohort of people who are progressing from opiate prescription misuse to opiate use disorder to heroin use. Heroin use greatly facilitates the chance that you'll become an injection drug user. And so the sort of infectious disease epidemiologists of the world are aware that in the United States, we're in the midst of multiple epidemics related to injection drug use. So we have an acute hepatitis C epidemic that's ongoing. We've got huge increases in infective endocarditis related to injection drug use. We have growth in hospitalizations for abscesses, so skin and soft tissue infections, and the HIV thing will happen. It's just a matter of time at this point.
So you're showing the connection in there.
Yeah, in my talk, I document the growth in injection drug use. We know the outbreaks are happening. We know the risk behaviors are changing for the worse. So it's just sort of inevitable at this point.
And how do you hope that your work will actually help to change some of that?
Well, some of it is we have to go ahead and implement the things that we already know that do work. So even though the number of syringe exchange programs, or syringe service programs as the CDC likes to call them, have grown dramatically over the last 20 years. I think there's about 350 now. Many of them don't use best practices. They aren't in all the communities that need them, and very few of them are well funded. So we sort of need to do that. We've been very slow to really create a system where people can easily get treatment, and particularly the medication treatments like methadone or buprenorphine. And then we have to begin contemplating novel things like safer drug consumption rooms or safer injection sites like Seattle is thinking about doing.
You seem to be really connected with, since you have this history, late 80s, are you on any committees that help to guide the direction of the work that needs to be done? I mean, I'm presuming you are.
I have over the years. I've been on the HIV Prevention Planning Council for LA County, and I just stepped down from the NIH study section focused on HIV, BSPH, sort of biosocial, psychological things related to HIV.
Do
So
you work with NIDA at all?
yeah, and I'm funded by NIDA.
Okay, gotcha.
I have a study right now that we're concluding that's looking at how to prevent injection initiation, and we're about to launch, and we'll begin data collection in 3 or 4 months for a new study looking at opiate and cannabis interactions for this sort of population of people who inject drugs.
Well, I really look forward to the work that you're going to be doing in the future. You probably have it well planned out, and there's never a dull moment. And it is sad about the growth of the epidemic as far as through HIV, through IDU. It's quite concerning.
Well, I mean, what I miss is those. Depending on where you were, and I don't know where you were. I mean, I was in the Bay Area, so the HIV. We understood what was happening. It was an existential crisis, and we acted like it. And I look forward to the day when we bring that kind of energy to the opiate crisis.
We really need it.
I
I think we're around. I think if we're not there,
it.
we're around the corner, and it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate your activism.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
great talking
Thank
with
you.
you.